Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. My name is Constance, and today I thought I would catch you up on what I've been up to. Many of you are aware that I went on a quick trip to Alabama. That is because, as y'all know, we are house hunting in Alabama. My husband's job is requiring us to relocate, and we are in the process of house hunting. We are trying to find a house. We have actually been under contract with closing dates with 2 houses now. Both of them have fallen through when it came to the inspection. The first house, surprisingly, the owner came back and said they were going to fix every single thing on the inspector's list. And we're like, okay, but we were still no longer under contract with that house. So in the back of our mind, we were kind of keeping that as a backup plan, just in case we didn't find anything else. But we were continuing to look. There was another house that came up that just seemed absolutely perfect for us. Had been on the market for a little bit. The day we had a walkthrough, somebody else did a walkthrough too, and their offer was accepted over ours. Then there was a house that came up that looked phenomenal. It had land. It was an amazing location. It looked like it was going to be at the far end of the drive for Mr. Smith that we were, willing to look at, but it definitely looked like the perfect place. Had a friend do a walkthrough for us, FaceTime and all that, and it looked good. So we went ahead and put in an offer, and it was accepted. And of course, we were going to have that house inspected as well, because we're not getting tied to a house without it passing a thorough inspection. And decided that we should go ahead and drive down for it. And so I headed on out to Alabama so that I could be there for the actual inspection and see this house for myself. And figured, you know what, while I'm there, let me go ahead and in person walk through that house. That's the backup plan, and see if the repairs are going well. And maybe get a timeline of when they're going to be completed. And we went out to the house. We drove out there. My friend and I got there first, and then the realtor came. But when we got there, my friend and I walked around the house, and we're like, what's being done around here? The only thing we found was the flashing, or whatever you call it, that goes around the chimney that wasn't done right, and it was repaired. And the way I described it was that Billy Bob did it after drinking a 12-pack. Y'all, it looked terrible. And I'm like, is that how all of these repairs are being done? And then after we walked into the house and walked around a bit and saw all the rest of the things being done, we're like, no, this house is not a backup plan in any way, shape, or form. So my friend and I made a little stop, and then we headed on over to the house that we were currently under contract with for the inspection. And when we got there, our realtor was already inside, and my friend and I walked around outside for a little bit looking around. And I kind of wondered, because when the realtor came out, she had a look on her face. But to be honest with you, as we were driving out to this property, I was thinking to myself, this is way too far. There is no way that Mr. Smith could be commuting this far every single day. It was way too far, y'all. Amazing property, what looked like an amazing house. We could see some issues here and there. Some things would definitely need to be addressed. But y'all, when we walked in the house, there were four plug-in air fresheners just in the living room alone. They were in the bedrooms. They were in the living room. They were in the kitchen. There were like non-electric ones in the closets. It was so overwhelming. We were all getting sick and getting headaches and everything else from the sheer quantity of the air fresheners. And as we walked through the house, I was seeing things that were maybe not ideal. I was finding some issues here and there, but those air fresheners, y'all, we didn't even have to wait for the inspection to get completed. I knew that this was not the house. But when the inspection came back to us, y'all, there was mold. There was mold, and it was bad, and that's why there was air fresheners everywhere. They were trying to cover up the smell. It was under the house, it was on the joists, it was on the subflooring, it was everywhere. So back to square one. Well, that very evening, a new listing popped up right there in the area in like the perfect location. Actually, just a few miles from where we used to live. Loved this house. We had a showing. We went on out there. It was beautiful. It was perfect. Everything about this could absolutely see us all living there. It had a barn. It had the perfect amount of land. But it was going to go fast, and there was a lot of interest in it. So it had been less than 24 hours. Our realtor alone had already had 4 calls on it. But I walked over the property, I prayed over the property, and I'm like, okay, Father, if this is the right one, let us find favor and let our offer be accepted. Because, you know, I've shared in the past, I am totally putting this in the Father's hands. We will end up in the property that is right and where He wants us. And so we put in an offer, but there was an unbeatable offer that had come in. And our realtor suspects it was probably a cash offer, well over asking price. And so again, the search continues. You know, summer's coming. A lot of houses get listed in the summertime because people don't want to sell their houses during the school year. And so we'll just keep watching. But as of my filming right here, we have another offer in on another house that, again, looks amazing. It looks amazing. There's so much potential, and there's definitely some things that we could do with this property that I've been like dreaming of doing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And again, putting it in the Father's hands. I'm handling this well. Mr. Smith is a little stressed out about it, but it'll come. It took us months, and y'all didn't know the situation that was happening because we kept it a complete secret when we were moving to Arkansas. We didn't tell y'all, or I didn't tell y'all until we had already closed on a house, and we had moved so much of our belongings, I couldn't hide it from the camera anymore that the house was empty. And that's when I made the announcement. So you guys don't realize the months it took us to find a place here in Arkansas. So, you know, we haven't been looking that terribly long in Alabama. So it'll come. It'll come. And I appreciate those of you who have been sending me listings. I've got notifications set up on like all the websites. So anything that comes in within our parameters, I'm getting notified of immediately. I appreciate the help, but there's no houses that have been sent to us that we haven't already seen and ruled out for, you know, whatever reason. But the trip to Alabama was not a complete and total wash. Of course, I got to spend some time with wonderful, wonderful friends that I hadn't seen in almost 2 years. And while we were out and about, I visited one of my favorite stores of all time. And I know I've shared with y'all about them in the past. But if you are new here, in Cullman, Alabama, there's this amazing little family-owned Mercantile. And I had to make a stop. They also have a new location. They had originally opened a second location in Muscle Shoals, but they have since moved that location across the river into downtown Florence in a very beautiful, historic kind of area. And I was really hoping to get to stop there on the way out of town to show y'all, but they weren't open yet when I was on the road. So next time. All right. So I'm going to share with y'all the haul that I got from the Mercantile. Now, I'm a huge, huge fan of pottery, but I still love splatterware as well. So as I was walking around, I realized they had a new color that I had not seen before. Hear that bird? And that was green. Green, y'all. So I have a couple of these serving spoons. I absolutely love these enamel serving spoons. So I got a green one because you know I had to. But not only did I get the normal serving spoon, they also have slotted spoons too as well. So I got a pair of the green ones, and I got one of the teal slotted spoons as well. They have the little spoons, the little enamel spoons. Mr. Smith loves to use these in his coffee. And, you know, of course I had to get a green one. You know, green is my favorite color, and until now I've never seen any green speckleware. I got a little pink bowl. Willow loves to eat out of these little ones, and I only had one small one, so I got her a pink one to eat out of when she's serving up, when we serve her up things in the kitchen. And then I got a couple of these little dishes, little teal ones. I got 2 of them because, y'all, these are the perfect ice cream dishes. When we eat ice cream, now, we love ice cream, but usually when we're serving up ice cream around the house, we only get a tiny little bit. So these are kind of like the perfect little ice cream dishes. And then I got one of the green bowls. Now these are, a lot of the speckleware is white with the color splashed on it. These green ones are ivory. So they're kind of like a creamy color with the colorful speckles on it. So it's the ivory and green as opposed to the white with the speckles. But I have 2 others of these bowls. I have a yellow one and a teal one. I love these great big bowls. I use them quite a bit, and honestly, I mostly use them for washing. I use these as little wash tubs. I wash my dishes with these. But you know I had to get a green one. And then there's one more thing that I got. And every so often, the company that makes these will come out with new products. And this is something I had not yet seen. And when I saw them, I'm like, oh, I saw it on their Instagram, and I'm like, man, I hope they've got one of those when I go into the store. And they did. And they had it in green. A bundt cake pan. Isn't that gorgeous? So I could not resist getting one of these, y'all. It is so pretty. So that is my little haul from the Mercantile. But I did also want to share with you guys. Now, those of you who've been around and have seen my hauls from the Mercantile before know that you can actually call the store and they will let you make purchases over the phone and mail them to you. However, their website has a lot of stuff on there now, and so you can shop their Mercantile from their website, and they have tons of products on there. I don't know if they have everything on there, but they have a lot of stuff on there. So if you ever see anything that I get from the Mercantile and you want one of them, you can check out their website or you can give them a call. And I'll put the link to it in the video description down below. So that is it, y'all. As I said, the house hunting continues. The one that we have put an offer in right now, we already know that there's at least one other offer on the house. If it's the house that we're supposed to move into, I trust the Father will make it happen. We will have favor in the eyes of the seller. You know, it is a really tough market in that area. Redstone Arsenal has a ton of growth. There's something like 14,000 people coming to the Arsenal plus their families. Our realtor was like, I don't know where they're going to put them all. That area is growing very rapidly, which is why it is such a challenge to find houses there in the area, especially what we're looking for. We're almost looking for the non-existent thing, but the Father will help us, and I'm sure we'll end up exactly where we're supposed to be. But in the meantime, we will just keep on looking and doing some of the list of things that I've got to do around here to get this place ready for the market, which, by the way, I've had several people asking me when the house is going onto the market, when can they see it. The house is not going onto the market here in Arkansas until well after we have found a place in Alabama. We have to have already closed on it and already started moving things out so that we can get this house ready. You know, I'm not going to be having showings when we've got 4 dogs running around here being all crazy and things like that. So, but when it's ready to go on the market, I'll share with y'all. It won't be it won't be a secret. So, with that, God bless, and I'll talk to y'all next time.